International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus,
we shall take a look at Ghana's chocolate confectionery industry and the prospect of value addition to one of the nation's major exports, cocoa. And later, fruit exporters call for renewal of export license.
Feels good to be back on your screens once again with a program that highlights international trade-related activities among Ghana and its numerous trade partners. A special thanks to our sponsors and to you, our cherished viewers, for your continuous support. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agric, and more. Public Elegance provided me with this lovely outfit. On today's edition of International Trade Focus, we shall take a look at the prospect of adding value to Ghana's raw cocoa beans before we export. My name is Anna Spio, and this is International Trade Focus.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, Truly Agric, and more.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquet and conferences, or a desperate weekend getaway? Just name it. It's exclusively packaged for you at Peduasi Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduasi Valley Resort. The acts of serenity skillfully served.
A warm welcome back. Our focal point segment this week highlights the prospects of adding value to one of Ghana's major exports, cocoa. Up next is our focal point segment. Take a look.
The Global Chocolate Market Report 2020 suggests that the chocolate industry will grow by a cumulative annual growth rate of 4.7%. By 2025, the global chocolate market is estimated to reach $182 billion, a hike from the current $137 billion in 2019. Some market researchers attribute this growth to consumer impulse buying. Ghana is the second largest cocoa bean producer in the world, and together with Ivory Coast, the two countries control about 60% of the global cocoa bean output. Despite this huge contribution, the combined revenue from their exports of raw cocoa beans is less than $10 billion per annum. Ghana's exporting cocoa generated over $2.4 billion in 2019, while Ivory Coast recorded $3.9 billion in the same year. Our focal point segment today highlights Ghana's chocolate confectionery industry and the prospect of value addition to the nation's major exports. Over the years, Ghana's non-traditional export of cocoa powder and processed cocoa products brought in another $489 million as export earnings. Although this is quite significant for the nation, it's meager compared to the over $180 billion chocolate industry. There's a larger market to contend with. Local consumption of chocolate per capita is, however, low. The average per capita consumption stands at 0.5 kilograms of chocolate per Ghanaian. The situation is more evident on the international scale as Africa and South Africa have the lowest market share of chocolate, according to the Modern Intelligence Market Report conducted into the chocolate consumption markets. In light of this, the government of Ghana and other agencies of government invested in this year's Ghana Chocolate Week to promote eating made in Ghana chocolates. President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in a national address, made a passionate appeal to Ghanaians to increase consumption of chocolate.
The health benefits of cocoa are enormous and well known. It helps reduce blood pressure, lowers the risk of heart attack and stroke, and improves brain function. Ghana produces the best cocoa, which has strong nutritional value, and it's time that our consumption increases in our own backyard. Currently, per capita consumption of cocoa in Ghana stands at 0.5 kilograms. This should increase to 1 kilogram per Ghanaian in the short to medium term. This will begin with inculcating the habit of consuming cocoa in our children. This will not only develop the taste for cocoa products, but will also help them stay healthier to contribute their quota towards the growth and transformation of Ghana. I am and will continue to be a passionate consumer of chocolate and cocoa-related products.
The quality of Ghana's chocolate has never been in doubt. Fortunately, there's a national appetite for made-in-Ghana chocolate and chocolate derivatives. This interest is best personified in the comments of a daily chocolate consumer.
I drink cocoa powder every morning. It's like a regular thing, sometimes twice in a day. Because of its medicinal properties and the fact that it's a way of boosting your immune system. It's very good. So I don't play with it at all. It's something I consume every day. Every day, yes. So I'm a regular consumer of Ghana's cocoa. No two ways about that.
Cocoa has proven to be one of Ghana's proud exports to the international markets. Industry players have come to the realization that it's no longer economically prudent to continue exporting Ghana's cocoa bean in its raw form. The Cocoa Research Institute has done some work into the value addition prospects of cocoa. The Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Research Institute explains further.
We also have the New Product Development Unit that looks at adding value to cocoa. When you take a cocoa pod itself, the part that the farmer gets his or her money from comes from a maximum of about 40%. That is the cocoa bean itself. The rest is normally left idle in the farm to go waste. So starting from the cocoa husk, based on research, we observe that it can be used or we can turn it into animal feed. Okay, so it's pelletized into animal feed, which can be given to cattle, swine, goats, poultry, what have you. The same way, we also get organic fertilizer for staple crops. And then also, we also have the alata soup, the alata semina or the dark soup, which is also very good. Coming from the discarded cocoa bean, it's not always the farmer get beans that are good to make chocolate. It happens almost everywhere in every farm. So the discarded cocoa bean, which the farmer would have thrown away, we extract the butter out of it, and it's used for some cosmetics. We use for cocoa body pomade. We have cocoa butter soap also for bathing, which is also very good and help the skin a lot. Also coming from the sweating, when cocoa is being harvested, we do fermentation. And during fermentation, the bean, have this white slimy substance around called the mucilage, which breaks down in the form of water and then goes out waste. But now through research, we convert those sweating into cocoa jam. We also convert, since it contains sugars, we get cocoa gin, we get cocoa brandy, we have cocoa wine. Further fermentation of the wine, we get cocoa vinegar. Okay, so all these products that I mentioned are coming from here to waste from cocoa. Okay, all right. So basically, that is the primary goal of Cocoa Research Institute. But as the product that I spoke about, as of now, research has been proven. But then we are also calling out on partners and investors to come to Cocoa Research Institute to come and support or partner with us so that we can mass produce these items on the market, and then the farmers will be able to appreciate the essence of the research that the scientists have provided.
The possibilities are endless for cocoa, not just as a bar of chocolate, but as other derivatives. International Trade Focus interacted with some exhibitors at the Cocoa Week celebration to prove this assertion.
We have natural spices here made with cocoa, together with other natural spices like cinnamon, dawa dawa, bay leaf, nutmeg, ginger, okay, for our foodstuffs. Okay, this is spices for steaming, okay, and then this is spices for stew and gravy, also can be used for jollof, okay, and then this is spices for soups, all right, yeah, so, okay, so someone will ask why cocoa with spices. Cocoa is very good ingredients with many good benefits for the body, so we add it to the spices to enrich our food, okay, to add good things to the body. Cocoa can be used for chocolate and eaten, not just for the body. Then it can be used in the food too. So we thought of using it and see if it will work, and it did. It's superb when you use it to cook. Yeah,
we have over here Dr. Jani chocolate soap. These are soaps that helps to nourish the skin, and then it's also good for those with oily skin, and we have some that is also good for dry skin also. This is good for the body. It's handmade soap with some bits of shea butter. It smells even chocolate when using it. If you're not careful, you may eat it. And we have types over here. We did some in the heart shape with a heart on top because of the season, because of the Valentine's season. So we have it in different shapes. And this is mostly for those with oily skin. Okay. But they are all the chocolate soap. And then we have the hair food here. It's with cocoa butter and coconut oil. We have the chocolate facial scrub. This one is good for cleaning dead cells and making the face glow, and then making it smooth also. You just apply once in a week for just 10 minutes before bath. And we have the chocolate bars also here. This one is pure cocoa butter bars. You can eat it, it's edible. You can eat it and also use it for your body as well. All made by Dr. Jani.
So we are actually distributors of the Golden Pot cocoa powder. So right with us we have the instant chocolate powder, which has milk and then sugar, and then we have the natural unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay, so with this it doesn't have sugar. Good for the diabetic patients, people who are looking at the rate at which they take in sugar, and then people who necessarily want to have some differences when it comes to the intake of cocoa. So we have this one also, as one best source for your antioxidants. In this time of COVID, where we are looking at how to boost our immune system, these are the best products you can look up to. You take them early in the morning, one cup, and you're good to go. You top up with all other food you have available. It also has all the iron you need also for your blood, and then we also have the vitamins, very good source for protein as well.
New markets are emerging in Africa and the world. It's no longer advisable to export only raw material like cocoa in its original form. Events such as the Ghana Chocolate Week, which seeks to highlight the chocolate industry, may be just the avenue for further innovation and creativity. Premium Ghanaian chocolate like the Golden Tree chocolate and niche cocoa have proven their worth. It's up to Ghanaians to support their very own made in Ghana chocolate products.
The world's chocolate industry is worth over $130 billion. Ghana, together with Ivory Coast, exports about 60% of the world's cocoa beans. Now, despite this huge contribution, these two countries combined earn just a little under $10 billion. So how can we tap into this huge industry as a country? So the managing director of Cocoa Processing Company, CPC, tells us how, as a country, we can tap into this chocolate industry that's worth over $130 billion. Our in-depth segment comes up next.
Tell us about Ghana's chocolate industry and its relation to the Chocolate Week.
This year, the theme for our Chocolate Week was Eat Chocolate, Stay Healthy, Grow Ghana. We chose this theme in the light of this COVID-19 era and what are the food that you need to eat to build your immunity. And it has been tested and proven that the top 5 polyphenols is cocoa and dark chocolate, cloves and seasoning, fruits, vegetables, and nuts. And Ghana God has granted us this opportunity where there's our cocoa, and why don't we take advantage of it? And it's not like today's COVID that one wants to speak about cocoa. It dates back in 1700 BC when Montezuma, the king, it was known as food for the gods. They just used the cocoa and turmeric or any of the cloves or seasonings as the food. When you go to the Kunan Islands, that is the food. In times past during the war, dark chocolates were given to soldiers as rationing so that they can keep long. Montezuma used to define it as a drink of cocoa for the day is a food that can take you for the whole day. Why? Because of the nutrients that is in cocoa. The iron, the calcium, the potassium, the manganese, and all is one complete food.
What makes Ghana's chocolate confectionery unique?
What makes cocoa different from the others is the Ghanaian way. The 5 days fermentation, the 7 days sun drying makes us a unique product. That is with the Ghanaian one. Aside also is any product that is a plant-based, which goes into a secondary form of fermentation, gives the flavonoids that helps to fight the free radicals. And so we chose this week as the National Chocolate Week, so as a way that people will create some awareness and consume cocoa and other products which can build on our immunity. What then goes into this product which makes it unique? As I said, with the Ghanaian way, we come with it in this raw form from the upcountry. Here, all is in-based. That is, the 5 days fermentation, the sun drying gives it into that unique position. Then when it gets here, we go through a roasting process, which we call a debug. We would have cleaned up any foreign material upcountry, roast it to kill any bacteria. We then take off the shells. Then we get into the nibs. Even at this stage, the 5 benefits, even on consuming it here, it is 40 times stronger than blueberries. And everybody knows what apples, blueberries, and these things. So if you have a product which is 40 times higher in product, it is, in terms of calcium, it is of a higher percentage than cow milk. People know what cow milk can do. So if you have a product like this, it is from this stage, the iron content is higher, the magnesium. This phase is what just go in as a paste. In the paste form is what we press, and we call it as cocoa mass. At this stage of the paste, you press out and you get it in the form of a butter. In this butter stage is where one can use it for food, for pharmaceutical, cosmetic, and chocolate. In this form is what goes outside, where we use it for the Palmer's cocoa butter. Because of the vitamin E, that's the best food when you use it for cooking. We know of wheat germ oil, which we know as the lowest cholesterol, but this is better than that one. So if you have a product, either you are using it as a cream, you can even just take some like this in a form of massaging, and that is your body cream. And then you can just use it to cream. And you are getting all the vitamin E. Now, one of the levels of the U rays, it repairs the skin. You can even use it as a form of massage. After hard days, we've got of vitamin E, you can use it as a massage. Tone up here, and you can have it there. From this stage also is where we use it for chocolate. After this, because we've pressed out the butter, it comes in the form of a cable form. This one is where we then take it as a powder. It is in this powder stage that we bottle it as Royale, so that you are just taking the natural product. When you go further, is where you can add sugar and milk, and it comes as a hot chocolate. Here we have it in the form of this one, or with coffee blend. This is that stage of when you get it in the powder form. It is in that chocolate form also when you have it here. It's where we have the 70, 80, 90. And it's also been tested and proven that any dark chocolate, where even you take 20 grams, because like you have it like this, you have it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they give you 100 grams. So 20 grams of this, scientifically, medically, been proven that if you consume, it's like taking 80 grams soluble aspirin. So if you have a product, when you take it, it builds your immunity. Continuous consumption of cocoa has been medically proven that it is 2 to 3 times better than green tea, 3 to 5 times than red wine. And we are saying that cocoa, this is good for the heart. The reason why cocoa is the best is the nitric oxide, that the continuous consumption open up the blood vessels. When we get it into other forms, it's where we have all these different products of spread. So like we've been telling you every day, CPC is like the food for the family. So you get to the table, any of this form with your spread. We know, as I mentioned, with nuts. We have with groundnuts, we have with cashew, we have with tiger nut, we have with almond, we have with hazelnut, that we've added cocoa to get it as a spread for your bread. When we want to take it into any form of this chocolate also, we have it in the form of nuts, as a pecan, macadamia, pistachio, almond, walnut. They've also got them mixed it with the chocolate. So these are what also we can get it into smaller packs, or these 250 grams packs. So basically, we're trying to use this opportunity that we can all consume this our product. In some of my areas where I have had the opportunity to talk, I've insisted, and some come up that the Royale is bitter. And I have said that of a recipe. Because of the pH that is in the acidity, some may have ulcer. So what you do is that you can blend it with watermelon. This watermelon, as you know, has a 92% water, 21% vitamin C. And so that can help you to reduce, because it has natural sugars in the watermelon, which can give you some taste. Sometimes when I'm in a long meeting, now one of the new discoveries of COVID is thrombosis, that's platelets, breaking off your nerves so that the blood cannot flow up. So in long meetings, I add ginger. And so ginger plus watermelon plus this, because ginger is a natural blood thinning. Because they are also saying that technically and medically it's not good that you sit at one time for more than 30 minutes. So these are all the issues that Cocoa Board, Ghana Tourism Authority, and CPC, we are promoting that this week's, or this our National Chocolate Day, is about eat chocolate, stay healthy, and grow Ghana. So that at the end of the day, when we all get into this activity, and as the President has always been saying that this too shall pass. By the time that it is past, when we get into our normal protocols of continuous washing of hands with our nose masks and sanitizer, and getting any of these products also can help push us. And with God as our helper, we can promote it. So this is how we have it in several forms. So it comes in this packaging, and it's this same that we've got it here. Trying as much as possible to promote locally and externally.
What is the country's performance on the international market when it comes to our chocolate products?
Taking it from the bean itself, between Ghana and Ivory Coast is an average production of 60 to 65%, but we earn $10 to $12 billion. When it gets to this stage, it is 28 billion. When it gets to this level, it is 142 billion. You have the chocolate as 100 billion, the cosmetic 60 billion, beverage 6 billion. The good thing with Ghana is that the way we process our bean from the upcountry, it is an average of 20 to 25% of Ghana to the rest of the world. So much as together with Ivory Coast, it is 60%. If even we take Ghana as 25 on a chain of 142, that means that you have something of 35 billion. So that's how, as much as possible, Cocoa Board government is trying to push more for the value addition, because even if you get it into this form, it is better than keeping it here. As much as possible, as they're trying to support CPC through the entire efforts of Honorable Dr. Fria Koto, Cocoa Board CEO, and the presidency, as much as possible to support us. so that at least we can get more into this. How have they started? Honorable Fia Koto has been able to structure for us, and we are now supplying this product to the secondary schools. That is through National Buffer. And it's by the long side of it is where we've had this stimulus package, where, as I said the other time, trying to increase our production and also doing a value addition on this with the cashew and the tiger nut. So some of the machineries are in. The last leg will be coming in April, May. So hopefully by the middle or the last quarter of the year, we would have this plant ready. And that is part of the activity. Aside that also, much as the COVID is still a challenge, we're having serious challenges with this level because who is interested in this when he's trying to fight COVID? So this is where the challenge is. But that notwithstanding, we're trying on a small level to push it, but it's not easy because at least when we get into this stage locally and trying also to take advantage, we've hit a market in Liberia where they're interested in the drinking chocolate. We've had some offers from outside. We were even close to move to China after the initial MOU, but we've not stopped it. We still want to push it. And as you see this product, this is how the export brand is. The same, this is the local, and if you have this, is the export. So this is how we want to also get into the export market. And by that will be the comparative levels of how it is on. And what makes Ghana unique is the cocoa content. And this is how we've tried as much as possible to push it. Because the earlier perception has always been that chocolate more as a candy than the food. And it's all because of how they see it. But in any real cocoa, when you break it of a chocolate, you should hear the click. That means the cocoa content is high. And this is how we are promoting gradually. And people have recognized that by eating that, that makes the Ghana cocoa and the Ghana chocolate unique. So gradually, this is where we're pushing. And I can say that in the last 3 years, the per capita consumption was 0.50, but we've done a slight one of 0.53 as against Europe, which is 6 kilos to 11. So gradually, at least we trying to push it. And this is where we want to let it be. And I'm sure that the message is trickling down and it's getting on better.
You're watching International Trade Focus. We're taking a look at the prospects and benefits of adding value to Ghana's raw cocoa beans before we export. We'll be back shortly.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate searchings, banquets and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It's exclusively packaged for you at Peduasi Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduasi Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
A warm welcome back. If you just tuned in, you're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. Our guest for today is the Managing Director, Cocoa Processing Company, Naneje Nimboating. The conversation continues.
What is the current production capacity of CPC?
Currently, we have a 64,500 tons capacity for the cocoa processing factories. Here we have 3 factories in one. Cocoa 1, Cocoa 2, that is doing these processes. When it gets to this level, it's only 3,000 tons. So it means it is only 4.6% of our total throughput. Over the last 3 years, with the support of the government and emphasis the sector minister and Cocoa Board, that's where we got this stimulus. And this promotion, we're now doing 15% of this. So that is the first step. And as I said earlier, Ghanaians are responding to it now, getting to know chocolate and its products as food and not candy. In the light of that, and also to tap into the African trade market, as we've been mentioning over time, it's also to look at how we can get into our branding. So this is how the previous packaging has changed, so that we can meet the packaging of the time and then make the product attractive. We're also moving in to replace and retool some of our aged parts. And we've also gone far in securing a facility from Afrexim, in addition to the stimulus package that we had from the government through Prudential. And with this level, we want to increase our processing capacity to 87,500 tons. Then we move the confectionery from 3 to 15. And this is how, in the next 2 years, we want to get CPC to that level. First, replacing and retooling some of the aged parts, and also getting new machinery so we can run the lines. Because we see the aftermarket as a huge market, and Ghanaians are also appreciating the concept of the benefits of cocoa consumption. So that's how we also want to increase onto the market and consumption.
How can we promote our chocolate brands on the international markets, and what should be the contribution of Ghanaians?
We're trying all possible avenues to let the local market understand the good benefits. And that's how this year we chose the theme, Eat Chocolate, Stay Healthy, Grow Ghana. And why did we choose that? Because we were saying that from the benefits of what you get from any of these products, it helps build the immunity. And it's not today's COVID that we're talking about. We have the figures, we have the history, and we have the records of 1700 BC, when it's been tested and proven. And this is how continuously we are getting the message across. And we are sure that over time we'll get there. What are some of the things that we've also done? It's like when we have that response, say that, oh, it's good, but it's bitter. That's why we are trying to also let them know that yes, you can do it in your small way as a smoothie. Just blending this with watermelon, just blending it with ginger and watermelon. You have the natural sugars, which can still keep you and build on your immunity. So when gradually we get people into this, even some just blend it with this and that. So they can take 2 of the Royal and maybe 1 of the all-time, and just to reduce the bitterness. Because as long as you have it on this, it also helps them. So as much as possible, we're trying to encourage them to consume and then get them off the perception as chocolate as more of a candy than food. Some of the challenges that also we've had is respect of pricing. And then also we've defended it that if you have the product living, say, for 20 cedis, it is a 400 grams. You need a 1 tablespoon in the morning, 1 tablespoon in the evening. So even if it's 20 grams for 20 days, it translates to 1 cedi or 50 pesos at 1 meal. But that notwithstanding, as part of the stimulus, we're getting machines where we can get it into a sachet form. Because the question is, even if the person has got it now, does he need to be carrying this from work and home every day? But if it's in a sachet form, they just take that 20 grams. So he brings it to office. Any hot water, he can make his meal. Again, also, we've had concerns about this as 10 cedis. And that's why we're asking that if you have a whole thing of this and you need only 20 grams out of this, which is performance in the body, it's like better than taking soluble aspirin, which also the continuous intake has its consequence. Then how many times of this as compared to the medicine? So it all boils down to education and opening up the mind. And this is what, as much as possible, we're trying to do, just to create the awareness and let them know of the health benefits and how long it can promote them. And I'm sure gradually going on, we are winning the battle. And that is how we want to first create the awareness so we can sustain it. And this is how we've even gotten this and selling it at least enough, instead of exporting it into 25 kg, and we've got it in this small level so that at least it can also be affordable for anybody just to buy and use it as a cream. So even if you have this, just like as I'm saying, any 1 second, even if you had just like this in your office, and for every, because when you walk on the sun, just on a U rays and you're getting it off, and even using it as your pomade, you are using the vitamin E, which is promoting to fight the U rays. So all these are things that we're trying as much as possible, because even some come to buy it just like this in this form. And as I'm saying, even in this state also, it is also better. So as much as possible, at any level, we just want to let Ghanaians know the health benefits in this, which of course we'll try as much as possible to help all of us and build on our immunity.
How is Ghana positioning itself as a chocolate-producing country for the African continental free trade markets?
Moving on also is how well that AFDA, African Development Bank, is helping Ghana and Ivory Coast. Now, that part of the activity is increasing the production. When this product is increased, it also then turns into the question of supply and demand. And that's where we want to get into the chain of the value addition. So either bringing it into this form or into this final product and ensuring that we get and patronize it locally here gives us a better position on the supply and demand. And that is how, as much as possible, we're getting it through the schools. So even continuously, when they leave their schools and get into tertiary, the good effects of cocoa consumption, which is lower depression, giving you a very levels of the numerous benefits, having a sharp brain translates into their tertiary and beyond as a family man. So as the population increases, you also have the consumption pattern increasing. And that's how we also be increasing our capacity. Along the line will be the message to our near borders and beyond. So they will also then sell the message. And these are all the processes that, as much as possible, we are trying to open it up as a gateway, so that as we increase the per yield, we also increase the consumption, and then you can have a balance on both the value addition and the end product. Because it is so sad that at this stage, it is only 6% to the farmer, 2.1% to the transporter, 7. So the total at this stage is only 20%. But when it gets here, is where you're getting 79 to 80% with the retailers and the chocolatiers. So it means that up to this grinding stage is 20. So if as much as possible, we can all push here, we will be saving a lot for ourselves. We'll be having healthy people all trying to give their quota to Mother Ghana. But if it is not that, at least you yourself try to promote it. And as a CPC is looking at it, that how best can we be part of this journey whilst we all work together.
Your final words.
I want to take this opportunity to plead to our fellow Ghanaians that we are in a battle which is only the good Lord can help. And I say this because every morning when you wake up is another story of what happened yesterday night. And so you go into the night to sleep and you don't know what will happen. The only way that as much as possible you can also be sure of what you've done and leaving the rest to the good Lord is how well have you prepared on the immunity. And this is one of the products. Reason being that the human system has the innate and the adaptive immune system. The innate is the normal one where you eat and it helps build your system. In the course of your lifestyle, some level of your activities may not be too good for you, for which reason continuously can let the free radicals overrun your antioxidants. When it happens like that, it breaks up the system. That can lead to cancer and all these numerous diabetes and all these things. Continuous consumption of cocoa can be likened to an area where there has been a problem. And then you invite the police or the rapid response to that place. When they get there, it leaves a memory of this place. So anytime that there's an issue, they know that this is where they are going to. The same thing happens with the continuous consumption. Immediately that they get into the system, they identify the spot of the ulcer, the cancer, the diabetes, or anything, and they leave a memory there. So any continuous consumption, daily and regularly, fights that decay system to repair. And this is how we want it to be.
And there you have it, the numerous benefits of adding value to Ghana's cocoa beans before we export. That was the Managing Director, Cocoa Processing Company, Nanenje Nimboateng. There's more after this break. Don't go away.
Witness innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes, innovation that takes you further. GOIL, good energy.
Some stakeholders of the fruit and horticulture export sector say their plea for the renewal of their stevedore and shore handling licenses has gone unheard. These exporters in a communique had given the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority till the ending of March to renew their export licenses, or they will resort to drastic measures including dumping their fruit at the ports or exporting through seaports of neighboring countries. When International Trade Focus approached the Sea Freight Pineapple Exporters of Ghana, SPEC, for comment, they disclosed that they had not heard any official position from the sector ministries in addressing their concerns. They accused the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority of interfering in their operation, costing them about $240,000 in additional costs in 2019 and about $284,000 in 2020 alone. In 2008, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, signed a management agreement with the exporters of horticultural products by sea. The agreement became necessary due to the poor nature under which fruits and other horticultural products were being handled at the port before shipment. This had the potential to cause a ban on Ghanaian exports by importers in Europe if those conditions persisted. The exporters formed a joint venture company called the Fruit Terminal Company to implement the management agreement and contracted Super Maritime Company Limited to manage the terminal at the port. Meanwhile, the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority is alleged to have formed a new company with Super Maritime Company Limited called the Fruit Export Terminal Company Limited to play a similar role, a situation which the exporters say is tantamount to the regulator interfering in the businesses of exporters. President of the Sea Freight Pineapple Exporters Ghana and board member of the Fruit Terminal Company Limited, Mr. Solomon Benjamin, explains further.
Members of the association who are producers of fresh pineapples and bananas are not happy, and they are threatening to divert cargo to the port of Lomé and then also see the possibility of virtually interrupting activities, and they are considering various actions. One is to consider loading through the port of Lomé. The other option is to do their own activity as they were doing before, and if they are prevented, they will take further action, which will not be very pleasant. So we are hoping that we'll be able to find a lasting solution on pass. So we've engaged in negotiations for a very long time until this, and that was before the issue came to Parliament. But we have done behind the scenes negotiations between the three parties involved, and we were making progress. We were making a headway on the quiet. But then when this thing came up, we also have to respond to the falsehood that is being peddled out there.
Government, through the caretaker Minister for Finance, Honorable Osei Chairman Sabonso, has outlined government's economic priorities and fiscal plan for the year. The 2021 budget is intended, according to government sources, to hasten the recovery from COVID pandemic and set a confident path for sustainable economic transformation. Here at the International Trade Focus, we examined the contribution of the budget to Ghana's international trade. According to the caretaker minister, the decline in trade surplus was driven largely by contraction in the total export receipts.
The external sector performance was also impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic through the trade and financial channels. The trade accounted a lower surplus of $2.1 $2.0 billion United States dollars, or 3.0% of GDP in 2020, compared with $2.3 billion United States dollars, equivalent to 3.4% of GDP in 2019. The decline in the surplus was driven largely by a 7.8% contraction in total, especially from crude oil exports, declined sharply by 35.2%. In addition, the value of total imports contracted by 7.3%, reflecting a slowdown in import demand due to the pandemic. The lower trade surplus, coupled with higher services, resulted in a current account deficit of $2.0 United States billion, equivalent to 3.0% of GDP in 2020, compared to a deficit of 1.9 United States, equivalent to 2.8% of GDP in 2019. These developments, Mr. Speaker, resulted in an overall balance of payments deficit of $630 million United States dollars in 2020, compared with a surplus of $1.3 billion United States dollars in 2019. The deficit of the balance of payments was on account of marginal worsening of the current account deficit and a decreased net capital inflows in the capital and financial accounts. Gross international reserves. Mr. Speaker, gross international reserves stood at $8.6 billion United States dollars, equivalent to 4.1 months of import cover at the end of December 2020, from a stock position of $8.4 billion, equivalent to 4.0 months import cover as of December 2019. Exchange rate development.
In terms of government expenditure for the coming months concerning trade facilitation, the government is expected to expend about 32 million cedis more than it spent in 2020 on planting for food and jobs, bringing its expenditure allocation to 432 million cedis. Again, the government plans to spend 136 million cedis on railway development, an increase from 117 million cedis the previous year. However, allocation for road infrastructure reduced to 952 million cedis in 2021, up from about 1.2 billion cedis in 2020. The producer price for cocoa for the 2020 and 2021 crop year was increased by 28% from 8,240 Ghana cedis per ton to 10,560 cedis per ton, approximately 600 cedis per bag. Ghana is projected to produce about 896,000 tons of cocoa beans in the 2020-2021 year. By the end of February 2021, cocoa takeover stood at 771,460 tons, which puts the country on course to achieve its targets.
Here are some basic protective measures against COVID-19, popularly known as the coronavirus disease. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water or alcohol-based rub. Maintain social distancing. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice respiratory hygiene. If you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Stay informed. Follow advice from your healthcare provider. Symptoms of coronavirus include fever, a runny nose, cough, sore throat, possibly a headache. Should you or anyone you know begin to exhibit the symptoms of COVID-19, do not go to the hospital but call emergency number 112.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, truly agric and more.
And it's a wrap for today's edition of International Trade Focus. Join us same time next week for some more on international trade-related activities here in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOL Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agric and more. Public Elegance provided me with this lovely outfit. My name is Anas Pio. Join us same time next week. Bye for now.